BSSS Rhythm. BSSS Rhythm. BSSS Rhythm.
So Mansi Babbar, a hearty and a warm welcome to this real vibrant campus of the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. This is not a new place for you, I'm sure about it. But Mansi in 2013, BSS in 2013. What is BSS? You look at it as now when you enter the campus, 2020-23.
So it has been 10 years since I saw my college. I used to see my college as a beautiful place before, but now it's very different. So the first thing that struck me was nostalgia when I entered the gates and saw the same trees walking towards that. And for the first time, I parked in the visitors lot. At that time, I never used to get that place. So many things have changed here, but then nothing has changed. It's the same for me, the nostalgia and the feeling. But I do see that I'm surprised actually. There's been so much improvement in the infrastructure, in the facilities that students have now. The swimming pool has the water. We never used to get that. But the biggest thing is the rhythm. I think rhythm is something I really love. I am really happy that you guys are doing it, and students are also enjoying it. So it was a surprise, and I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, that was very nice. I take up that point that you mentioned, coming and parking your vehicle, the visitors slot is something, that's where you find yourself on the other side of the platform, right?
Yes.
So of course, that's when you learn ki, kuch to hai.
Yeah, it was giving me butterflies in my stomach. Wow, oh my God.
That is, as a takeaway for all the students who are listening now and, viewing this podcast. Mansi Babbar. Who is this Mansi Babbar?
Okay, so Mansi is a storyteller. She is a coffee lover, binge watcher, and an elder sister. I forgot to mention that in the presentation that I was giving. But yeah, being an elder sister is a very different kind of, life altogether. So I do everything that I do with my whole heart. I love to do what I love to do. And that's it. I mean, I don't want any regrets in life. That's me. But if you look at the professional side of things, I am a product manager, and it was very difficult for me to get to that level where I am now, I would say. So I learned a lot throughout my journey, not only through my school, my college, but also through my corporate journey. And that makes me.
Mansi, our association, I think, is very long. You know? Like I remember you are teaching you right in the 5th standard mathematics. You would be in the back bench and then scribbling, and then we got an opportunity to grow. I mean, like I professionally grew with you guys coming up. Moving on to the 12th standard, I have also seen you, during the derivation classes of physics. Used to tell me, madam, मुझे ये नहीं पढ़ना है, and I was, मैंने कहा कि नहीं बेटा, आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा ये. There was no,
ले लिया तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा ना.
There was, and little did I know about it that you had a passion towards writing and all that. Being a teacher of physics, for me, that was my priority, teaching physics. So how did this author, that mindset of becoming an author, come to you?
So it was not a mindset that came to me. I think I probably was born with it, I would say, because I remember myself writing sentences and trying to put the stories together when I was in KG2 also. The biggest factor in my life, the thing that motivated me was my father. He's not with me anymore, but he was the one who has cherished me like anything since the very childhood. So he used to tell me stories, bedtime stories, and he used to talk about movies. He used to show me movies in VCR. So I remember watching True Lies of Arnold Schwarzenegger when I was 5-6 years old. So that's where I started, and the escapism, I think, begins in a child. When you see movies, listen to stories, you kind of make your own stories up and you start writing. And it was a very good way of escaping studies. So I think started.
Of course, but then a very healthy way of escaping studies. Like you're doing something, because in the present scenario, if you look at these students, like if you tell them to read, I mean, like they don't want to actually
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
Audio or visual is something the best way that something like they can just see or watch something.
Yeah.
That but taking it to what advice you have for the youngsters now,
Yeah.
how to get into this writing habits or engaging themselves. But I think there's very few people who would love to get into the library, sit and even touch those books.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no feelings or emotions much attached with the generation now towards
Yeah.
books.
So I would say it's not the generation's fault. It is the fault of the IT people and probably product managers like me who are not looking into this fact that the hormones that you generate, the happy hormones you generate when you're looking into your phone and you're being involved in Netflix for hours and hours. You love stories, so if you get an easier way of doing things, you will adopt that. You want to understand and learn things, but you get an audiobook, you get a TED talk, it's easier to understand. Very few people get to realize that a deep focus and towards researching, towards studying and towards life as whole is very important. They need to, like, the generation needs to understand that this is an addiction. Phone or probably Netflix or movies, it's not bad, but everything has to be in control. Like, even if you drink too much water, you will get poisoned, right? So you have to be in control of how much time you're giving to these things. My advice to them would be declutter yourself, like your life. Declutter means turn off your notifications, put your phone away for a few hours, clean your room. It's really important. There's a reason why people teach that in the army and military, and commandos do it, right? So those are the things that you can do to declutter. I would suggest one book called Deep Focus by Cal Newport. I think that's the book's name, Deep Focus. Read that book, try to understand what they're writing. So I think you start your reading journey from there, your focusing journey from there, understanding what is the structure, what is thinking, how to think basically. We don't exercise that muscle in the schools and colleges anymore. That's the problem. So if you start doing that now, when you're in college, you're still plastic. The mind is always plastic, I think, even when you're 100 years old. But you start now so that you can make your life better. And just one last thing, I think on this topic I would want to say is, it really is important. You need to understand what you're reading. It's not just like, yeah, padhne ko pad liya, or you just read it fast because you want to finish a book. You really need to understand what you're reading. This will become important when you're in corporates, when you're reading projection reports, you're reading other things, research material. You will not be able to kind of summarize and remember those things if you are not in the habit of doing that. So please start getting into the habit. It can be medium, it can be online, but I would really prefer that you give time to libraries, to physical books. Declutter, like, just put everything away and just focus yourself on these books and start to study. Then slowly you start to summarize, just put bullet points of what you learned. I think that starts this process of understanding what you're doing. So yeah, I mean, this is a very, very crucial
I think that's
thing.
a very rich takeaway for all those who are there out listening to this. We said nomophobia, you cannot afford to have even few seconds without phone. It's
Yeah.
like every time is what,
Yes.
kind of. So it has become, and I think all these cells have they've been automated, like
Yeah.
each time you need to move the screen. And I think that's something how they can develop a kind of patience
Yeah.
without keeping apart the phone for some time. I think this really needs a
And
lot of
even I will tell you, the people who are there in startups and big corporate businesses, wherever I go. So I've been in Paytm, Swiggy, JioSaavn and ShareChat, right? I've also been in Z Studios, in Z Entertainment. I was managing Z Studios and Z Cafe. So I've been through this journey and I learned that all the leaders of the industry, they make sure that their children are not getting addicted to this, to TV or to mobile phones or laptops or iPads, nothing. No gaming, no nothing. They make sure that their children are playing outside, they're learning in a natural environment, going for a hike, camping, stuff like that. People, I think in today's generation, they're not realizing that they are being, conditioned into something which marketers want them to be conditioned
yes,
to.
in this four walls.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very true. So Mansi in 2023, Mansi in 2033,
Yeah.
where do you see yourselves?
Okay, I hopefully see myself retiring early. That's the honest, I think, comment from me. I want to see myself become a storyteller above all. Whether it's via my books, like I write fiction, I do my podcast in horror. So I'm writing thrillers, I'm writing horror, and I really hope to, be a name in this field so that I can just do that instead of doing a 9 to 5. However, having said that, I will never leave product management, because product management, being a product manager has taught me a way of life, you would say. Like, you get a way of life probably by doing martial arts or by becoming a monk. I think by corporate, going through this journey, I have learned a lot, and I would always want to be in this management field, but I would also want to be a storyteller who can actually earn. Right now I'm not earning anything from my stories.
So that's really nice, Mansi. It was absolutely fine talking to you. You kept engaging the students throughout your session, and I'm sure you got very much connected to the students, and I think they got what they actually wanted. That was one reason why the students had come forward to ask questions, and we're just looking forward for such more interactions with our students. Thank you so much for joining here.
And thank you so much for inviting me and for this lovely session. I think the students were amazing as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
BSS Rhythm.